Hello. I am taking a minute to pour out on this butcher tray. I think I'm likely to start these paintings, and so I want some very broad paint. Whew! My head has been quite. I'm in bad need of a deep breath. A deep breath at the moment to tell you that this is Daily Art Adventure number 962, starting 20 abstracts. Woohoo! So these abstracts are going to be for sale. Hopefully some of my viewers will buy them. I might let people bid 25 cents if that's their inclination. Oh, and if I jerk strangely or gasp, grunt strangely, the 20 paintings are on gator board. Okay, gator stuff. It's kind of like industrial. Already have what I'm calling a cosmic abstract painting, and unabashedly, unapologetically various color palettes. This one obviously is a green one. There's blue, orange, red, purple, and so forth, and obviously a couple green. The idea here, the strange idea, I'll be saying this a lot because it's, in my mind, the main painting you're going to be buying I'm going to tell you why. I don't have here, I don't think, and oh, I do, hang on, I do, hang on. So let me you buy, and it can be fairly inexpensive, 4 by 32. So you buy a modular frame, put it together, the wall, right? That means as you're like painting out and turn it around, so just a few, like in this case, I just have a few staples. So, but that's what I'm thinking. That's what we've done several times around here. So if you're like me, or if you're like my mom, you know, for the winter time, or for Christmas time, you have one side out. Maybe for Christmas you have the green cosmic, and then the rest of the year you have whatever this one ended up being. All right, so does that make sense? So you're going to bid, people are going to bid, and you just bid, and that's how you let me know which painting you're bidding on. You say, painting number 1, $200. Okay? Whew. It's taken me a long time. Just give you a quick tour. I'm going to take you off your perch up here, and here's an assortment of scratching tools. There are a couple different kinds of dimensional. Here's another spreading tool. Here are several acrylic mediums, microspheres, ferrous. These are all manufactured or distributed by Matisse, as you can see. So there's a dozen different textures. Here's some gel medium, some glitter, 4 different colors of glitter, an iridescent medium. I don't have to show you everything, but here's another tray of different acrylic paints. They've got a couple already mixed containers, and here's some black and some white. Here's some watercolor sticks, my normal acrylic paints, some wax, some Crayola crayons, and then of course all my regular brushes. So I'm surrounded by a whole crazy assortment of tools and rags here and spray bottles. I have extra drop cloths all around me here. You saw some of that as I was giving you a tour. And I'll talk about these later. Here's 6 categories of abstract painting. Here's elements of design. This is for when I start teaching. And this page right here, I'll pull this one up just for a second. I put this together several years ago, and it was just a brainstorming thing. Here are, however many this is, 30 creative ideas, things to do, to create abstract paintings. Kind of out of the box, crazy tricks. And if I find myself thinking, oh, what can I do next? I might glance at this list, right? Like one of them on here is saran wrap pressings. So you put paint on here and then you put saran wrap or aluminum foil, anything, put on here and pull it off. Burlap to create a texture. I don't have burlap here, but I do have several large terry cloth rags. All right, whew. So here we go. I'm going to turn my background music up just a tiny, tiny bit so you can hear a whisper of it in the background. Now, how am I going to start? That is a very good question, and I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to answer it very honestly, transparently. First of all, I have tried doing this before where I have no preconceived notion, no external structure. I just say, I'm just gonna face each canvas, and in this case board, just do whatever I feel like doing. Those, in my opinion, were the worst acrylic paintings I've ever produced. Now, they were okay, but they were the weakest. So I'm not going to do that. I'm in fact going to put parameters on myself. So I'm doing 20. These 20 paintings are, at least initially, are going to be based on letters of the alphabet. Okay? I've done this several times. I've also done Edgar Payne's design stems. If you wonder what in the world I'm talking about, you just Google that. Edgar Payne, P-A-Y-N-E, Edgar Payne design stems, and you'll see what they are. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do letters of the alphabet. Only 20 of them though, so 6 letters get to be taken up. All right? So I'm going to start, guess what? With the letter A. And whoops, here's something I don't have out yet. I have it right here. That is a nice big bottle of acrylic medium, normal, not slow dry. I don't want slow dry. And I'm going to pour it out here on this tray. For those of you who are, again, wondering what I'm talking about, it's this tray right there. Okay, butcher tray. That's a very traditional tool for painters, especially acrylic painters. Also works for oil. You can put that in the freezer. Anyway, it's another story. All right, here we go. I am definitely going to paint with 2 hands. So I'm going to have a terry cloth rag in one hand. I have a big bucket of water down here at my feet. Terry cloth in one hand, and what do you call it, soft cotton stuff in the other hand. What colors? I'm going to do red and purple, sure. Okay. What did I say? There it is, the letter A. Now, at this point, I just start having just fun. Now, here is the way most of this is going to work. There we go. Okay, these two spray bottles don't spray the same. Here's the way this is going to work. I'm going to spend, I would say on average, about 5 minutes before I set it aside and go to the next one. Fairly quickly. Part of the trick, so to speak, is you do an assembly line process, right? I've already lost the much of the letter A, but that doesn't bother me at all. Hang on a second. I'm getting. I didn't see this coming. So, container of white. Got. Particular is all of a sudden I went, wait a minute, I think I want some thickness of paint. This is a plexiglass comb that I made. So a lot of what I'm thinking about and will be thinking about throughout much of the painting process will be on texture. Texture is huge. In my opinion, texture is even more important than color. That's a surprise to most people. But here's the thinking behind it. You can have a gorgeous painting with virtually no color in it. You can boring color palette, but if the texture is rich, the painting can be just beautiful. A little bit more difficult to do that if you don't have texture. That's all I'm going to say about that. Categories of abstract paintings are over here. I'll talk about this periodically. My paintings tend, and I'm not expecting you to be able to read that, movement or kinesthetic oriented. That means the paintings, the beauty in the paintings relies to a large. I'm being overly simple, but just let me keep it. The large, bold movements of the artist. Okay? That's what you see going on here. Let me see. Some people chatting, TRC 450. Stream is laggy. Hello, Ray. I had two options before me today. One was to not do any painting and start tomorrow. So I apologize profusely for the quality. There's a long and irritating story. There's a series of cuss. This has been one of the cussinest days of work that I've had in years. Can I just leave it at that? Can I just leave that right there? Problems on top of those. And the alternative was to not broadcast at all. And so anyway, I apologize profusely. I feel horrible. I know very well why it's not the old camera. Anyway, I know very well why we've got bad streaming. And if it's driving you too crazy, then hang up, so to speak, and come back later and watch the replay. And I apologize terribly for the quality. All right, so I just did some. I'm way over 5 minutes on this one, but the 5 minutes was just an estimate and a guess. All right, I think I'm going to stop right there. There's just enough interesting stuff happening there that when I come around to this, so let me explain a little bit. I'm going to do 19 other paintings before I come back around to number one. And I just realized here's a problem I haven't foreseen. Normally, by the way, I do this kind of thing outdoors in the driveway. It's 90 degrees outside, but here's a problem I didn't take care of, and that is I can't, these are going to drip, so bear with me just a minute. My problems are having problems today. I have interruptions to my interruptions. Anyway, I'm going to run these out to the front yard, let flies land on them and stuff, and I'll let them dry out here. Anyway, let's see, how are you guys doing? Hello, Aurelie Barajas and Michael and Barbara. And yeah, it's going to keep bad video. The video's going to be bad. What is this auction? Thank you, Jody. I am selling 20 paintings. They're all double paintings. You get two for the price of one. This is the side B, so to speak. And you may you might say, well, I like this painting a lot. And you might bid on, it's painting number 2, no matter which side it's on. And you might say, well, I want to buy, that one. That's fine. You can bid on either one, doesn't matter. But you're going to get 2 paintings. Now, you can't mix and match. You can't get the back of one on the front of another. Does that make sense? They're connected. All right, so, but I'm considering this side B. The paintings on the front will be generally of a lighter cast. So with each painting, you're going to get a dark painting and a light painting. All right, I'm all the way down to letter B. Moving right along. And thanks for your sympathy. I'm not telling you these things for your sympathy, but it's just been a really, it's been one of those days. Okay, this would be the letter B. Now I can skip 6 letters, and the question is uppercase or lowercase. That's a very good question, and I don't know the answer to that. But I'm feeling lowercase-ish. See, isn't that funny? Do you see the letter B? I mean, I've already perverted it to some considerable degree. Okay, that's all I'm going to do with that. I mean, with those racks. Pick up. Oh, I need to open some. Some of my regular, if you will, which means acrylic paints with medium already in them. Okay, this, ladies and gentlemen, focused abstract paintings. Kinesthetic means the movement, the physical movement of the artist. These are crayons, by the way, wax crayons, which also behave, take on the effect of resist, right? The acrylic won't stick to the wax. All right, good enough. I think before I'm done, I will hit each painting. I would guess to dry. That's my guess, and I may be way off on that. Again, that's the back side, if you will, the side B, but you can bid on either one. But look, I want you to notice painting number 3, turn it around, still got painting number 3. Aren't I clever? So you place any bids. I expect to finish this task, this job. Optimistically, I'm thinking about next Tuesday. Okay? So that's my guess. All right, I'm not going to do rag this. So it's D, which is very much like the C. Of course, I could do a cursive D. So many of my paintings will have this strong curvilinear element to them. And again, it's the letters of the alphabet will help me keep that. The other category over here, composition, design, two-dimensional use of space oriented. And one of the classic examples, two classic examples, Piet Mondrian and Hans Hofmann are two. I'm thinking very much about the use of space, right? The circle is, those are watercolor sticks. Cakes, the sticks are essentially like the cake, but no container. So you can draw with the convention in my mind. Black pencils in my hand. And reinforce, like the letter B, the initial mark, or as I did with the blue, counter it, right? And there's your answer. In this case, there's no right or wrong. I'm going to leave that right there. Okay, so just zipping right along again. Between each painting, 3 down, 17 to go. Here then is painting number 4. Most of them, as you can see, in fact, I entitled them already on my YouTube channel and Facebook. I call them Ordered Cosmos because there's a lot of all of them, and then a lot of nondescript abstract. Anyway, this one's purplish up here, kind of phthalo down here. And want to letter E. Well, yes, yes, yes. I definitely want to go with letter E uppercase. I'm using rags. The letter E. Isn't that funny? I mean, it's dumb. Like, really? You can do that? You can use the letters of the alphabet? If you missed, I've done this approach, this using letters of the alphabet several times. This kind of thing. Abstracts, assembly line process. I'm not going to paint one painting at a time. My next hit, if you will, was contrast. The E-ness of it. Does that make sense? Anyway, that will continue. So I've done this assembly line abstracts, painting very quickly. Sometimes conducting as I hope to do this time. Now, if nobody bids, then the live auction won't go very well. Do you understand? Just hoping I'll do some paintings that you can get for a really good deal, that you got to watch being produced, and that they'll add beauty to your home. That's already quite attractive right there. I'm going to stop right there. So again, I started out with the letter E. Oh, let me point out for you artists, has major diagonal lines. That's important. Now this one has two vertical mark. That one's faded. This one's still pretty obvious, right? But still, the major mark in this painting is diagonal. Learn that lesson. Do learn that lesson. Now, there's nothing wrong with having something perfectly vertical or horizontal, but the general rule is angle is better than vertical and horizontal. All right, again, thankfully the front door is not too far away from me. And if part of the business, isn't it? Here's the back side of painting number 5. Again, here's some here's some structure. And then a whole bunch of loose stuff. This one is quite red, purple up here, and quite blue down here. So when you place a bid, and I was going to say a minute ago, I don't really expect people to start placing serious bids. If I finish this project on Tuesday, I expect maybe some serious bidding to start happening on Monday. So, now that I think about it, Tuesday's probably pretty optimistic. So more likely Wednesday. All right, the letter F. I'm going to uppercase or lowercase. I don't know. I'm going to go back to some rag painting. And I've dipped both brushes, both rags. Get that out of the way. There. It's a little bit like Sesame Street, isn't it? The letter G. That's just wet brushes there. Again, you can see a big part of my impulse is, again, what I call kinesthetic, the beauty. I certainly hope there will be beauty. There will be, by the time I'm finished, by the way, there should be, here's a tool, a string of nails. There will be a lot of color and a lot of texture. Too much, look, like it's just a real donut hole right in the middle, so that is not good. So yeah, there we go. There we go. So as you can see, I have no interest in retaining the letter of the alphabet. You know, it's not like Sesame Street. In other words, when the painting is finished, I don't care that people can tell what letter it's supposed to be. Usually, you can, but see, in this case, no, I don't expect any. It gives me a rudimentary, a very simple guardrails. It actually increases my creativity, giving myself restrictions, if you will. The restriction is I'm going to follow the letters of the alphabet. Does that make sense? That restriction actually increases my creativity, not diminish. And I have, as I said, at least one time that I said, to heck with that. And I've used several things, not just, I mentioned Edgar Payne and letters of the alphabet, numbers. I've done a number of things. Foreign alphabets, Hebrew letters. But the times where I tried to do it without any preconceived idea, in my opinion, those were some of my weaker abstracts. Isn't that funny? You would think, oh, creativity, you can just do anything you want. That's not really how creativity works. All right, that's kind of fun. Hang on. No, it's a little bit too fly away. I use that term internally, at least quite a bit. Fly away means there's no cohesion to the composition. I'm struggling with this one a little bit, which is usually the sign that just put it away and come back to it later when you're fresh. All of these will go through huge metamorphosis, huge evolution before they're finished. Again, eight or 10 layers on each painting, maybe more. I don't know. That's just a guess. All right, carry this one outside, and I'll be back with number 6. Number 6. Clean off I'm getting a lot of runoff paint here on my easel. right, again, a very, very blue one. That's enough of that. So on the back of 6. Let's do purple and ultramarine. H. Oh yeah, sure. Let's do H. Getting some nice color mixtures here. By the way, using these rags, these dirty rags. Whoops, my wife is calling me. That's really bad news. All right, I'm gonna let that one, call that one good enough. If you were to look at the finished painting, let's say, I'm now saying on Wednesday, if you look at the finished painting on Wednesday and how it started, recognize it. Although you might actually recognize some. Okay, well that comes late anyway, doesn't it? That won't happen today.
Or on the roofing.
There's the back side, the dark side of painting number 7. X marks the spot. H-I, I'm going to skip the letter I. J. But I don't care much for J either. It's just very subjective. No.
What about Y?
Once again. Come on. Oh. Then of course I just even got paint on my glasses. And where? Whoops. Doggone it, it's missing. I don't like things. My glasses. Oh, come on. Number 8. There's the B side. That one. L. Oh yeah, I'm going to do L. I really am.
You need to use my phone to call Nancy.
Sure. Can you bring up your text app? I'll send her a text.
You're talking about messages, right?
Is it Facebook text messages? Like you and I text each other a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Here, folks, just a minute. I have to text my wife.
You can have more than one. They're pretty good. I think that's what they're supposed to. Tastes like their French fries, I think.
All right.
That's why they're in fish.
All right, letter L. That's right. I just opened.
We'll record my,
And I'm sorry, I'm not here to talk to you. So you're hanging out like you expect me to say something to you. Doggone it. I just spattered. I'm sorry, I was talking to my grandson because he's kind of hanging. I want to let him know that's not going to happen. So this is the letter L. I have a problem now. Oh, I just spattered my face completely with my day. Typical of my day. Whew, doggy. All right. There we go. Using so far. It would really be appropriate to do some I don't know if it's going to come out or not. There's my answer. Nope. All right. All right, evidently my letter L is almost completely obliterated. That's all right. Oh, I didn't want that to happen. There we go. Number 6 on my list is chance-oriented. That is to say, I don't know what's going to happen when I do this and that and thus and so. And there's a fair amount of chance happening. Like that's spattering is like spattering, dripping is a classic example of chance abstract painting. All right. Thank you, man. Because otherwise I'm dripping on the floor. Thank you. All right, just like that. Right, what letter? L, M. Upper or lower? I mean, it's so uppercase is so obvious. By the way, I'll either skip M or N because they're two. There's 6 letters I can skip. I don't know how many I've skipped so far, but I could skip M. No, it's a little more a challenge. This one. Before I do the major. Something very different, which is instead of no pressure, I feel pressure. So there, I'm really not doing very much drawing at all yet on any of my paintings, but right there I am. That's some drawing, right? So again, this is watercolor sticks. So when you hit them with water, that's kind of fun. All right, let's talk for a minute about, that's kind of fun. I'm going to leave it just like that. Let's talk for a minute about the 6. Is that 6? I have 2 pages over here. Oh, would you mind getting the front door for me, Izzy? Thank you. Line, shape, color, design, value, texture. Oh, I see. Huh, that's funny. Okay, got it. Already. Here's the back side. Now the letter O. That's funny. I want the panel a little bit wet here for this one. That's not so nice. Interesting color too. It's not a color I normally gravitate toward. I like that, just as is. All that done. Number 10 for first application. Got the first 10 done. Here's number 11. A layer of acrylic. Transparent medium. didn't want to. So I'm sorry, sweetie pie, I can't talk to you because I'm talking to people on the. Just watch. I didn't catch that. Cutting the grass is fine. The noise? Sorry, I couldn't figure out. I couldn't read your hand motions. What it's the top part of a letter of a lower. All right, that's kind of interesting. Oh, sorry, I just spilled my watercolor stick. That is to say, if they land in an open container of. All right, that's good enough. That these paintings said there will be lots of layering, and some of the layers and professional choreographed dance. Good choreographed dance has variety in it. Big steps, little steps. And so my word presupposes primarily 3 couplets, large marks, stuff, literal and non-literal, expressive or decorative. So, hang on a second. Q, the letter Q, which is an awful lot like the letter Q. I may have to come back and do more on it later. But as I do layer upon layer upon layer, that generally contrasting layers. So sometimes I'll simply glaze the entire canvas, forgive me calling this canvas, light and dark, and so on. So whatever I'm doing with this very first layer, you can be pretty sure the contrast to the first one. The second layer will not be, typically rags dipped in. I'm likely to go, okay, the letter R, yeah, R sounds like great fun. I think I'll use rags again. My that strikes me as funny. Sorry. There it is. It's pretty obvious. The letter R. Ooh, that was nice. Texture tools that I have over here, so I am expecting that I will use those tools more in Okay, that's the letter R, and it's, oh, have I run out of letters yet? That's the question. Have I been skipping too many? I'll clean that up later. So yeah, what happened a few minutes ago is the announcement was made that I mean, that's not a big problem, believe me. That doesn't. Here's one I like a lot. That doesn't make me cuss, but I have refrained for the most part today. Whew. But it's just been one of those weird days. What is it? All right, this is painting number 30. Start with some big brushes this time. And I seem to be, I haven't done a ton of blue, it seems to me, so let's oh, doesn't it? Let's try that again. No, that's too close to the center of the canvas. It's not very pleasant. Don't panic. There's lots of, that's not bad. Again, the category I would put almost everything that I'm doing in this stage, this phase of these paintings would go under the heading, general heading of kinesthetic. It's the large, bold movements of the artist. And you see what people, human beings, generally speaking, they enjoy seeing movements that were clearly and obviously made by a human being. That's weird. So there is strong aesthetic in something as simple as a bold mark. Thus the kinesthetic element in much abstract painting. Who do I have as example of kinesthetic over here? Oh, Jonas Gerard. You'd have to look him up. He's kind of a local, that is to say, North Carolina legend. I don't know if he's a legend, but he lives in Asheville, up in the mountains, a very artsy town, crazy artsy town up in the mountains of North Carolina. And in my opinion, he does some very, very nice abstract painting, and heavily dependent on the kinesthetic element. I'm not crazy about this, but I think I'm going to let it go anyway, because I can fix it, so to speak. Let's do some. All right, good enough. Who knows whether any of that will show up in the finished painting? I mean, some of it will. I don't mean to say, will any of it, of course it will. But I don't know in what manner. Oh, another thing that could happen to any of these paintings is that second time around, I may decide that they're upside down, right? I may turn them over. I think I'm going to work. I made this decision earlier when I was doing these, because these are all vertical. My signature's on the bottom right of all of these. So that doesn't mean if you buy it, doesn't mean you can't hang it in a landscape orientation, it just means my signature will be on the side, which is, of course, not a huge problem. But anyway, I'm thinking I'm going to work on all of them. At least this is what I'm thinking now. I'm going to work on them all vertical. All right, number 14, RST. Oh yeah, T. I definitely want to do T. Let's go back to these very, very painty rags that I have over here. And some interesting pastel-y kind of colors here. Again, a 5-gallon bucket of water down here that I'm again doing a little bit of drawing, so to speak, here. The spaces here. That the watercolor sticks, you know, don't look that great. All right. Almost just the way it is. Maybe I don't have to do 10 more layers on that one. I'm glad it's not windy out here. These panels don't seem to be finished going through the first layer. Whoops, where do we? And Jody asked a question, so the painting will not have what you just did. No, I'm going to do 8, 10, 12. Maybe that's what you're asking. All right, what letter am I up to now? Or 2 without you watching, because it would just be too much. and the broadcast quality, of course, is not very good today. It will be considerably better tomorrow afternoon when the spectrum technician gets here at 3 o'clock. Sure. Let's do this now. Uppercase or lowercase? I don't know. But lowercase u, kind of. I'm going to find a rag here. Ooh, that certainly did soften it. That's nice. Same thing down here, I think. For those of you, if there's anybody watching me who doesn't know me, welcome. Good to have you here. I believe there are more abstract paintings on my website, dannelsonart.com, than anything else. And it's partly for the very reason that you see here. Any serious representational painting, right? That's just the nature of the beast. So I same level as good representational paintings. I like them. They're good. They're fun. They're not equal to. All right, that's good enough. history, 20th century art history. I mentioned this guy just the other day, Clement. Pretty much went through his whole life with a gigantic chip on his shoulder. He was mad at and what he was mostly mad about was that, okay, there's painting numbers. Whoops, I've got it. Whoops, I have a unplug thing has happened here, forgive me. Did I catch it? Wow. All right, so Clement Greenberg, preaching vociferously and angrily most of his life, shaking his fist at the general population, because if they were only the smart people like him valued abstract paintings most highly, almost completely turned around. By the time he died in 1960 something or whatever, the broad swath of human beings, at least in Western civilization, very much, in a sense, he won his argument. Well, he didn't win it, but his argument won the day. But then it left him, ironically, with nothing to be mad about. Jody, I don't know if I answered your question. I'm thinking starting Monday or Tuesday, you can start placing bids. When these paintings, you get the backside free, so to speak. If you like the other side better, that's no problem. You're getting both. All right, what letter am I up to? V, sure, I'm going to do V. V for victory, of course. Wow, these rags are getting really hard to get a hold of. And they're so dripping. You ever painted with a rag? You should. And there's a V, right? That's pretty obvious. Yeah, I'm gonna just about leave it. Yep, good enough. I need to sharpen those pencils before I use. I'm gonna come back and I'll be all the way up to number 17 already. A lot of white, white canvas showing through. That is almost certainly not going to be the case as they near completion. Does that make sense? They will not be. All right, so there's painting. There's the B side, so to speak. And somebody might order the painting just because you like this side. That's great. But be that as it may, whoever buys painting number 17 is going to get both sides. A little bit of, when I stacked them up last night. All right, STVW, sure. I'm going to do some structure, minimal structure. It's much at all, but as a matter of fact, I really like that. I really like that mark. So I'm looking for a medium clean rag. Some of these edges a little bit. All right, so let me repeat what I was saying a minute ago. There's however many it ends up being, that will not be the case, okay? It's almost certain. You know what I mean. All right, just to let you know, they will not be. And right now, most of them are largely monochromatic. Layer number 2, say on a painting like this. So right now, this be warm, yellow, orange, yellow. Hang on, I do want to do a little bit of pencil. I have here mark, right? I'm not accentuating the W-ness. Painting number 17. Only 3 more. But I expect to do a lot of broadcasting over the next several days, where you will essentially see each painting painted from speed. Whoops, that's unfortunate. There's some stickiness with this stuff. In other words, this got pulled off the front of painting number 19. All right, let me show you the side B of this one though. Ooh. Big orange, you're getting a lot of glare. Let's see if I can hold that down first. There we go. It's a little bit more realistic impression. All right, 18. WX, oh sure. Of course I'm gonna do an X. Yeah. Fun color. Again, these rags just been dipped in so many colors so many times. There's no telling when I pick them up. I have almost no idea what they're going to look like. I have some large painting tools, by the way, in case you can't tell, because I've many years of doing large paintings. It's caused what am I thinking? These are plain old-fashioned wax crayons, which of course will create a little bit of a resist when I do the next layer on top. All right, good enough. Isn't that fun? I hope some of you are getting inspired to try some abstract painting. That would be good. I have said for years that I really don't think you can do good. You really can't do good representational paintings if you can't do good abstract paintings, because all representational paintings are, in their essence, are abstracts, right? Line, shape, color, design, value, texture. Those are the elements of design. Number 19. Oh boy. That's me no, let me see what got pulled off. So it doesn't matter. That's the nice thing about abstracts, right? I'll touch that up later. But that's the backside, if you will, of painting number 19. Unapologetically cosmic, outer space-ish. I just decided to go for it a couple days ago. Of course, I could leave this stuff that I'm taking off. You could say, why don't you just leave that? I don't want to be influenced right now by small little marks at this stage. That'll come later. Small steps, the dance of painting. Right now I'm doing L, large steps. I'll do small stuff later. All right. What letter? W, X, Y. Hey, if I do Y and Z, I came out exactly right. Isn't that something? Okay, I've been doing a lot of rags lately. Let's do brushes this time. And this is the letter Y. There. I just need Grover or somebody, Bart and Ernie, to ooh, that's kind of nice. That is kind of nice. Whoops. There's the kid that cut the grass, I bet. Maybe not. Hello.
Hi.
Do you have kids here?
I think Katrina's.
Come on in. I'm broadcasting, so you take care of yourself. Thanks. This is number 19. Boy, it worked out just exactly right. And I've got a rag here. I just want to soften some stuff. There we go. That's nice. Yeah, oh, that's nice. Do you hear that tone of surprise? That's, in my opinion, that's a mark of good painting. When the artist is surprised by what happens, especially if he or she is pleasantly surprised. That's really particularly nice. Right, I'm just going to do some wet on top of that. There. Boy, have I got a lot of cleaning up to do when I finish. One more. I'm going to carry this outside, put it in the sun. It'll be dry in just 5 minutes. And then I'm going to end this broadcast. I'll come out here and gather up all these dry paintings. And I'll start